Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
That breaking news takes us to I-95 southbound, just north of Fayetteville. You can see the fiery crash right there, shutting down the northbound lanes. I'll let you know how to get around it and also have a live report.
And today is a WRAL weather alert day as we have heavy rain in our forecast for the next several days. I'll show you how much we could see. Plus, it's a busy travel morning. Traffic leaving Mother's Day and college graduations could make for a hectic day at RDU, where you are looking live right now. The impacts we're seeing so far this morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 50 on your Monday morning. I'm Michelle McConaughey. It is a WRAL weather alert day, so we're going to get right to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking where that rain is falling right now. We've seen a wave come up from South Carolina, and that's producing some rain all across the southern part of the viewing area. That will lift on up toward the triangle over the next hour to 2 hours, depending on exactly where you are. Other than that, it's pretty quiet from Raleigh northward back to the west around Pittsboro, headed towards Siler City. There's a little bitty cell there. Notice the bright colors, though, from just east of Southern Pines to just north of Fayetteville and all through Sampson County around Clinton. That's going to be some heavy rain. It may not affect you for long as it moves on through pretty quickly. But we do have a flood watch that's in effect now through 8 a.m. tomorrow. Rainfall totals could be as much as 2 to 4 inches. Of course, on and off this morning, but some heavier rain later this afternoon, tonight, and early tomorrow. Here's a look at Futurecast, and we'll push this ahead onto around 10, 11 o'clock. You can see that rain really starting to fill in and move northward, and then it's just steady. It's going to be a very messy evening commute. There's 5 o'clock with lots of rain, and then scattered rain and isolated thunderstorms on through the evening and overnight and into early tomorrow. You may see a few patches of fog out there. Expect the roads to be messy in some places, especially down to the south as we have this scattered rain. This is a look at Fayetteville, and you can see how wet it is there. Our temperature is 69 in the triangle right now, and our highs will only make it into the low 70s. Coming up, we'll take a look at how much rain we could see each of the next 3 days. Ken?
8:02, Elizabeth. Because of the foggy and rainy conditions we have out there, we do have the WRAL Storm Tracker out on the roads. Laura Levine will be along shortly to give you a first-hand account of what we're seeing out there when you get ready to head out. The real big story, though, I-95 northbound lanes shut down between Long Branch Road, just north of Fayetteville, and Plainview Highway there in Dunn. And that's where we find WRAL's Kelsey Coffey giving us a look at what we're seeing right now and to walk us through what happened. Kelsey.
Ken, tow trucks arrived here about 30 minutes ago, but we'll give you a live look now at crews still working to clean up the aftermath of this crash. We'll show you some video now from Drone 5 where it looks like the front of a tractor trailer caught fire. We know multiple vehicles were involved in this crash, and you should be able to see in that video how traffic was backed up on I-95 for a really long time. And this crash happened near exit 71 near Long Branch Road in Harnett County. So right now we're working to find out what led up to this crash and if anyone was hurt. So right now, NCDOT did send out an alert that says that this crash should be clear around 8 o'clock, but it seems like crews are still working here. So Ken, what can you tell folks in the meantime if this area is a part of their morning drive?
Yeah, and I-95 is always such a busy route this morning. I tell you, if you have any friends and family coming north on I-95, tell them to look for the first Highway 301 exit, get off in 301, particularly around maybe the Fayetteville area, work their way around Dunn, and then get back on I-95 north. That's the best way to avoid those shutdowns that we're seeing on I-95. We do have a situation on Glenwood Avenue in the westbound lane near Ebenezer Church Road. It's a crash causing a huge delay in those westbound lanes. So keep that in mind if that's part of your commute in terms of getting to Durham this morning. Give yourself some extra time if you're about to head out. In terms of heading out this morning, the southern loop of the Beltline, we're seeing those westbound lanes. You see the congestion that's building. Traffic is moving slow and steady this morning, and that southern loop of the Beltline. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Breaking this morning, a duplex caught fire in Raleigh. This was the scene on Deep Hollow Drive just before 4 o'clock this morning. Crews got to the home just before 3 a.m. and the people who lived there were home at the time, but fortunately were able to get out safely without any injuries. And a Wake County Sheriff's deputy is hurt after their car flipped while they were chasing a speeding driver. It happened yesterday morning on I-40 East at NC 540. The sheriff's office says a deputy tried to stop a speeding driver, but crashed and the driver got away. The deputy was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. Today is expected to be one of the busiest days of the year at RDU, where you are looking live. People will be leaving the area after college graduations and Mother's Day. And operations appear to be returning to normal at RDU this morning after nearly 100 flights were delayed yesterday due to weather. Right now, 11 flights are delayed, 4 are canceled. A reminder, you now need a real ID or other approved identification to fly within the U.S. And today, the Fayetteville City Council will discuss the proposed citywide curfew. The rule, called the Youth Protection Ordinance, would restrict anyone 16 and under from being out from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. There are exceptions for those accompanied by parents or teens who work. Council members are using a similar curfew in Charlotte to inform their policy. No decision is expected on the proposal today. And today kicks off National Police Week. Efforts to honor local law enforcement are already underway. We caught up with Major Brian Harrison, who has been on a 250-mile bike trip in D.C. in honor of fallen Raleigh officer Gabriel Torres. Torres was killed during the Hedingham mass shooting. Harrison is reflecting on the send-off ceremony before their grueling journey.
We had Gabe Torres' widow, Jasmine, join us, and she was our speaker. Just to hear her words of what a ride like this means to her, and just to tell the story of Gabe Torres.
Torres will be honored in D.C. tomorrow during the 37th annual Candlelight Vigil. His name will be read on the honor roll call for those that are being added to the memorial this year. And buildings across the Triangle will be lit up in blue to honor National Police Week. That includes our WRAL tower as well. And this is a live look at our tower. A little hard to see, but it is shining in blue this morning. We will have a special tribute tonight. That's in addition to several events coordinated by the Raleigh Police Department Foundation to honor law enforcement officers. You'll see banners on Fayetteville Street and billboards around town, all as a way to say thank you from our community. Also today, Raleigh Police will open National Police Week with a ceremony at Hayes Barton Baptist Church. The memorial starts at 10:30 this morning. 23 Wake County fallen law enforcement officers will be honored at the ceremony. And today you can learn more about plans to widen lanes on Aviation Parkway. The NCDOT will host an event allowing discussions with engineers about construction plans in Morrisville. The project would widen nearly 2.5 miles of Aviation from Chapel Hill Road to I-40 in Cary. Today's meeting starts at 7 p.m. at Morrisville Town Hall. And today, child care providers in the Triangle and across the country will shut their doors, call out sick, or close down early to participate in the National Day Without Child Care. Child care workers plan to gather for a rally this morning in Raleigh. It starts at 10 o'clock downtown on Edenton Street. This is video from last year's rally in Durham. They're calling for investment in the child care system. Organizers say holding one day without services is a powerful way to get people's attention.
If we close for one day, it ensures that we can have longevity and a sustainable system well into the future. If we keep putting it off, ignoring these issues, the challenges that providers and families face, then we're going to continue to be in this cycle where this system really is not working for anyone.
Policy demands in North Carolina include a $60 million pilot program to provide child care access for providers' own children. Tomorrow, Allison Riggs will be certified for her position on the state Supreme Court. The certification ceremony will happen at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning on the Capitol grounds in Raleigh. It is open to the public. Last week, Riggs' challenger, Jefferson Griffin, said that he would seek no further appeals of a federal ruling over the election results. And around the world, Catholics had their first Sunday masses under a new pope. Parishioners filled the pews at the Holy Name of Jesus Cathedral in Raleigh. Monsignor David Brockman shared his excitement about Pope Leo XIV, the first pope born on U.S. soil.
We look forward maybe to a visit here to the United States. That would be great. And to have him come to our country, it could be a great moment of evangelization. As you already see that spirit taking place with people so interested, they're focused on this all over the world.
They are. Pope Leo XIV returned to the balcony where he was introduced to the world this week to give his first Sunday blessing. He also celebrated a private mass near the tomb of St. Peter and prayed at the tombs of several past popes as well. And tonight we'll learn who will likely take Cooper Flagg with the #1 pick in the NBA draft. The league's draft lottery is happening tonight at 7 o'clock. The Charlotte Hornets are one of 3 teams with the best odds to win the top pick. Flagg is widely expected to be that first pick when the draft happens next month. 8:10 now, coming up, returning home. The last living American held hostage by Hamas will be released. The announcement from President Trump as he takes a trip to the Middle East today. And a full ground stop. Flights were paused at Newark's airport after another issue with air traffic control equipment, the latest cause of delays for the New Jersey airport. And traveling today is going to be tricky. We have some rain that's moving in from South Carolina. It'll arrive in the Triangle probably in the next hour to hour and a half. The evening commute looks very messy. I'll show you how much rain we could see total on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. 8:13, dual Doppler 5000 radar showing some heavy rain, especially in our southern counties. See those yellow and orange shaded areas. That's where the rainfall is going to be heavy. That's lifting up toward the Triangle. We'll probably see it there close to, say, 10 o'clock this morning, so about an hour, hour and a half or so. We do have a flood watch, of course. It's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. All total for today and tomorrow, we could see as much as 2 to 4 inches, and that's not the end of it for this particular pattern. Temperatures, of course, will be on the cool side with all this rain. We go up to 100% chance at lunchtime, and that continues through the evening. As the meteorologist, Chris Michaels talks about what is this Rex block? That's the pattern that's bringing us so much rain. What is it, and how much more rain do we have in our forecast? Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WO Traffic Center. We have a crash on the Beltline near Wake Forest Road, as well as a crash on Glenwood Avenue near Lumley Road. I'll have an update in less than 5 minutes. We're also tracking this I-95 in the northbound lanes closed from Long Branch Road there just north of Fayetteville to Plainview Highway there in Dunn. Involves a fiery crash. Here's a live look with the help of photographer Michael Joyner. You can see first responders working to keep that fiery crash that's in order. It involved multiple vehicles as well. We'll have a live report at the bottom of the hour coming up.
All right, thank you, Ken. Hamas will free Idan Alexander, the last known living American hostage held in Gaza. President Trump confirmed that yesterday. He thanked mediators from Qatar and Egypt for their help. The U.S. also asked Hamas to release the bodies of 4 other American hostages. The news comes as President Trump prepares to go on his first international trip to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE.
Bringing all this back to the United States, Jeff Hogan here in the WR Live Center. I want to give you this live look right now. This is in Tenafly, New Jersey, just across the river from New York City. And this is a local community gathering to welcome home Idan. There's a big monitor up there that you can see. The sun is kind of giving a glare off it there, but they're watching some of the news from over in Israel and waiting for Idan's release there. They invited the whole community out there, saying that they are strong, they are united. Now, Hamas agreed to this, saying it's a good faith step toward a ceasefire and getting aid into Gaza. But Israel has said it is committing only to provide a safe corridor to allow Idan Alexander's release, and this is not any ceasefire or prisoner exchange hope for them. But we have watched this crowd throughout the morning just grow in Tenafly, New Jersey.
Thanks, Jeff. New this morning, Ukraine says Russia launched more than 100 drones in nighttime attacks, as President Volodymyr Zelensky says he is prepared to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin this week. Peace talks between the two nations are scheduled for Thursday in Istanbul. Putin's offer to sit down with Zelensky came after France, Britain, Germany, and Poland gave Russia an ultimatum. They threatened sanctions if Russia were unable to agree to an unconditional 30-day ceasefire by today. And travel madness on Mother's Day after Newark's airport saw another full ground stop. Delays and cancellations stacked up during the 45-minute pause on flights yesterday. The FAA says a telecommunications issue at the Philadelphia Air Traffic Control Facility that manages Newark's flights that caused the ground stop. A similar issue happened on Friday when radar went black for 90 seconds at the Philadelphia facility. And in Washington state, 2 people were hurt when a military vehicle crashed. Highway Patrol officials say a Humvee crashed on I-90 and plunged over a wall on Saturday. The vehicle dropped 30 feet onto a street below. No other cars were involved. The military vehicle was crushed by the weight of the trailer that it was hauling. Your family's summer vacation may look a little different this year. Federal cuts are hitting the National Park Service and North Carolina's biggest tourist attraction. Great Smoky Mountains National Park has lost at least a dozen employees. That's according to park advocates. That's leaving fewer workers to keep campgrounds open, clean up from Hurricane Helene, and respond in the event of an emergency at the park. Tonight at 6, WRAL investigates the impact these cuts are having and what that means for your travel plans. Graduates and their families braved the rain for Duke University's commencement yesterday. The ceremony was held in Wallace Wade Stadium. Former Duke basketball player and Basketball Hall of Fame inductee Grant Hill gave the commencement address.
You are graduating into one of the toughest tests of our time, whether we mean what we say we believe. The world doesn't need more promises, it needs more people who keep them. But I believe you are the ones who can lead us. Your time here has shown you what it's like to be in a community where values are lived.
Nearly 1,800 Blue Devils received their diplomas yesterday. So congratulations to all the graduates. And we said yesterday they braved the rain. We're going to have to brave the rain again today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner standing by with a look at what we can expect. So we're looking at several days of rain. Some of it's likely to be heavy. And you may wonder, why are we seeing this pattern and how long will it last? It's all due to a low pressure system here. This is part of a blocking pattern that we'll explain in a little more detail in just a few minutes. But the low sitting here close to the Gulf is grabbing a lot of moisture, a lot of tropical moisture, and feeding it here. As long as that low stays put, the pattern remains the same. We'll talk about what could cause that pattern to break down. But in the meantime, we have a flood watch through tomorrow morning and more rain in the forecast Wednesday and possibly Friday night into Saturday. Here's a look at what you're seeing as you're heading out the door, seeing this next band of rain with some pockets of heavy rain there too. You can see the yellow and orange shaded areas. That's all lifting up toward the triangle area, and it will fill in and be pretty heavy for us starting during the afternoon and continuing tonight. A little cell there just moved past Pittsburgh. Right now we don't have any lightning showing up, but just some brief little pockets of heavy rain that you may run into. Those are, well, a little lightning strike happened there near Fayetteville not too long ago. But from Wade northward on up toward Harnett County, from Roseboro and Clinton northward up toward Johnston County, it's all affecting us this morning. So flood watch in effect through to tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. 2 to 4 inches of rain expected. This is a look at Futurecast. You can see how widespread the rain is there at noon, and it just keeps on coming during the evening commute. It's going to be really messy, and then overnight it's just going to be rainy, maybe good sleeping weather. But tomorrow morning it is not going to be good driving weather. We'll continue to see fairly heavy rain, and that's on and off for us during the day on Tuesday as well. The reason that we don't have that flood watch in effect for the rest of the day Tuesday is it looks a little bit more scattered. I wouldn't be surprised if the Weather Service extends that, though. It's a medium risk for flooding today and a low to medium risk tomorrow, Wednesday. It's a low risk, but that's definitely not a zero risk. How much rain are we talking about? Anywhere from 2 to 2.5 to as much as 3 or some isolated 4-inch totals. And we have meteorologist Chris Michaels in the Weather Center talking about the Rex block that's keeping this pattern here.
Yeah, and part of that was that low pressure system that you were talking about that's bringing in all the rain, but it's being blocked by an area of high pressure farther to the north. Now, one of those has to go through some sort of change in intensity in order for that pattern to break. That's why it takes time. It's going to take about 2 to 3 days for this specific pattern to break. And it's called the Rex block. You've got high pressure to the north. It's kind of acting like a goalie and preventing this storm system from leaving. So it's not a case of are you in or are you out? It's just in. It's locked in for days at a time. But as we head toward Thursday and Friday, we'll start to see things breaking up a little bit. Rain chances are highest today and tomorrow, as Elizabeth said, scattered by Tuesday night. More numerous showers Wednesday before turning isolated by Wednesday night. So that 2 to 4 inches, let's put some perspective on that for you. The monthly average for the month of May is 3 1/3 inches of rain. It looks like we could potentially get that within 2 days' time. Elizabeth?
Thanks, Chris. And of course, that's definitely going to have some effects on folks driving around, evening commute tonight, tomorrow as well. And then, of course, we continue with those chances today and tomorrow. Our WRAL weather alert days for that potential for some flooding. We'll talk a little bit more about how much rain we could see specifically each day coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, we're seeing on top of that breaking news to the south of us. We're talking I-95. Those northbound lanes remain closed this morning at Long Branch Road, just north of Fayetteville, and Plainview Highway there in Dunn. Here's a live look, courtesy of photographer Michael Joyner. You can see the tow truck just showed up to haul away a tractor trailer that caught fire. This crash also involved several other vehicles. Again, I-95 northbound continue to be closed. It probably will be closed for another 15 to 20 minutes. I'll keep an eye on it and let you know what's going on. But your best bet in terms of an alternate route is to work your way around Highway 301 to get around what's happening there. We do have a couple of instances here on in Raleigh that I want to tell you about. First, this crash on I-440 westbound near Wake Forest Road. The good news is we're not seeing any delays in that particular area. The other troubled spot, Glenwood Avenue, there's this crash on Lumley Road. We're not seeing delays there, but an earlier crash on Ebenezer Church Road and Glenwood Avenue, you're still seeing some lingering delays in that particular area.
Thanks, Ken. U.S.-China trade deal. National leaders have agreed on a 90-day tariff pause. What we expect to come next in trade relations between the two countries.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. It's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. We're looking out for a lot of rain later today. We're seeing some of it right now, Elizabeth.
Yeah, some of that in our southern counties. In particular, we've seen some waves of heavy rain there. All that's going to lift on up into the Triangle area and cause some travel issues for us, probably within the next hour to 2 hours. Flood watch in effect 2 to 4 inches of rain today. So today is a WRAL Weather Alert Day. I should say today and tomorrow. Look at that 100% chance later this afternoon all the way through the evening commute. Our temperatures this morning heading out the door mostly in the 60s, and you can see the rain really coming down in Sanford. Little cell moving through there right now. Afternoon highs are in the low 70s. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening in the WRAL Traffic Center. Let's take a spin around the Beltline. You can see congestion really easing on the southern loop of the Beltline as well as the northern loop of the Beltline. Let's take a look at I-440 and Ridge Road. 3 things you need to know as you get ready to head out this morning. There's rain and foggy conditions that Elizabeth just mentioned. We're also tracking I-95 northbound closed around the Dunn area. And get an early start, if you will, because of the rainy and foggy conditions that we're experiencing right now.
All right, thank you, Ken. Breaking this morning, a duplex caught fire in Raleigh. This was the scene on Deep Hollow Drive just before 4 o'clock this morning. The people who lived there were at the home at the time of the fire, but fortunately were able to get out without any injuries. And today is expected to be one of the busiest days of the year in RDU, where you are looking live. People will be leaving the area after college graduations and Mother's Day. Yesterday, almost 100 flights were delayed because of weather. Right now, 11 flights are delayed and 4 are canceled. Next on Fox 50, a brawl leads to shots fired at a Raleigh restaurant on Mother's Day. And up next on Today, Jimmy Fallon shares details on his new book, Papa Doesn't Do Anything.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
That breaking news takes us to I-95 northbound shut down between Fayetteville and Dunn this morning. You can see the tow trucks right there on that scene. We'll have a live report and ways to get around the huge backups.
And today's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. A dual Doppler 5000 radar showing a lot of rain in our southern counties. I'll show you what time that lifts northward and how much rain you could see.
And rolling back tariffs, a new pause on tariffs for both the U.S. and China, the agreement that will help lower prices for Americans. One of many stories we still have for you in this 8 o'clock hour on Fox 50. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Of course, we have to get to weather first. It's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. Some of you might be seeing the rain already. Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's been pretty steady to heavy down south so far. We've had a few showers in the Triangle as well, but we've had a break for the last maybe 2 hours or so. This next round, though, lifts northward and will make for some messy conditions before lunchtime. You can see some steady to heavy rain in Sanford and Dunn, moving through Clinton. It's starting to taper off a little bit there in Fayetteville, but this band moves northward. Not a lot of lightning with this, so we're really just looking at some heavy rainfall from at least a few cells in this particular band. Flood threat, yep, we have a flood watch in effect through tomorrow morning. We could see as much as 2 to 4 inches of rain on and off this morning, but becoming a little steadier this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow morning. Flood watch includes almost the entire viewing area, again up to 2 to 4 inches of rain. Here's a look at this band that's down to the south, now lifting northward between, say, 10 and noon, producing some pretty heavy rain across the area. And then it's just steady to heavy all the way through the afternoon. There's 5 o'clock, so the evening commute looks really messy for us. Keep that in mind. Maybe you want to plan to head out a little early or maybe stay at work a little later, and then scattered as we get through tonight. So pockets of heavy rain for the morning commute, some road spray, some low cloud cover. It's pretty gloomy out there. Here's a live look at Fayetteville, where we just had rain moving through. 69 is our temperature in the triangle, and we stayed cool today with highs in the low 70s. Ken?
Hey, 32, Elizabeth. Let's get our viewers right to that breaking news that we've been following all morning long. This crash that shut down I-95 in the northbound lanes from Long Branch Road north of Fayetteville to Plainview Highway there in Dunn. And that's where we find WRAL's Kelsey Coffey giving us a first-hand account of what's happening right now.
Ken, it looks like this crash here is in the clearing process at this point. We saw tow trucks arrive here maybe about an hour ago, but we'll show you some video now from Drone 5 where it looks like the front of a tractor trailer caught fire. We know at least 3 vehicles were involved in this crash. You can see that traffic backed up on I-95. This crash happened near exit 71 near Long Branch Road in Harnett County. So we're working to find out what led up to this crash and if anyone was hurt. Originally, NCDOT was estimating that they would have this all cleaned up by 8 o'clock, but you can see that they're still here working on some things. So, Ken, what can you tell folks that this area is a part of their morning drive?
Yeah, the good news is the southbound lanes are open, but those northbound lanes continue to be shut down. Highway 301 is your best bet in terms of getting around the situation there on I-95. But again, as Kelsey just mentioned, stuff is really beginning to clear out probably in the next 10 to 15 minutes. We do have a couple of things happening here on Highway 70. This crash on the Beltline was cleared just in the last 5 minutes or so. But on Highway 70, we got the serious crash on Lumley Road right there. That's an airport exit as well, but we're not seeing any delays in the area. We did have an earlier crash on Glenwood Avenue at Ebenezer Church Road, and we can still see the lingering delays in that particular area. So keep that in mind as you're about to head out. Tune us in on the radio. As you can see, just about a 4-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest this morning. 101.5 HD3.
And breaking news in the WRAL Live Center. Just got some brand new information, some big business news. If you want to take a look at the headline at WRAL.com, it is right here, and it has to do with hundreds of jobs coming to Wake County. A biotech company, Genentech, plans to add 420 jobs in Holly Springs. This will happen over the next 7 years, so by the year 2032, those jobs will be added. An incentives package has already been approved for over $13 million. This is a California-based company that is bringing a proposed investment potentially of around $700 million by creating a new manufacturing site in our area. State government reporter Jack Hagel has been all over this story. Just told me a few minutes ago that Governor Josh Stein is holding a news conference 9:30 this morning, expected to make this announcement.
All right, thanks, Jeff. New this morning, the U.S. and China agreed on a 90-day pause on most of the tariffs they imposed on each other. This comes after officials from both countries held trade talks over the weekend in Switzerland. U.S. tariffs on Chinese imports will be cut from 145% to 30%. China's tariffs on U.S. imports will be cut from 125% to 10%. And both countries say they will continue to discuss trade relations over the next few months. A popular Raleigh restaurant is closed today after a chaotic scene on Mother's Day. Police say a fight at Big Ed's restaurant off Falls of News Road led to a shooting that injured 3 people. Cell phone video shows the brawl. You see a scuffle, and then you hear 3 gunshots. Oh, my goodness, that is so scary. You can see the crowd running toward the door. Amanda Lewis was checking out when it happened. She was there in a group of 10, including young children.
My husband grabbed myself and he grabbed our daughter, and we ran out of there.
3 people were hurt in that fight. One was grazed by a bullet. Police say so far they have made no arrests. Big Ed's restaurant posted on Facebook saying the restaurant will be closed through tomorrow. And company leadership wants to ensure the necessary space is allocated for our staff to be with loved ones and to rest. The statement goes on to say we extend our sincerest appreciation and deepest concern to our customers. Today, childcare providers in the Triangle and across the country will shut their doors, call out sick, or close down early to participate in the National Day Without Childcare. This is video from last year's rally in Durham. Childcare workers plan to rally today in Raleigh. It starts at 10 o'clock this morning downtown on Edenton Street. They're calling for investment in the childcare system. Policy demands in North Carolina include a $60 million pilot program to provide childcare access for providers' own children. And in Durham, the county manager will present her recommended budget for 2025-26 fiscal year today. The presentation is happening tonight at 7 o'clock during the County Board of Commissioners meeting. One of the issues we'll be watching is property tax rates and whether they will go up. A public hearing on the budget is expected to happen on May 27th, and the board is scheduled to make a final vote on June 9th. New this morning, Pope Leo renewed his call for peace as he met with journalists at the Vatican this morning. Leo told journalists it is important to shed light on conflicts around the world and on situations of injustice and poverty. He also expressed his solidarity with imprisoned journalists around the world. And today, President Donald Trump is expected to sign an executive order reducing the cost of prescription drugs. Trump says the price for prescriptions will go down almost immediately, between 30% and 80%. Trump says the order will equalize drug costs around the world. He says this is part of his, quote, most favored nation policy, which will make American prices the same as the nation that pays the lowest price in the world. And the Carolina Hurricanes are 2 wins away from the Eastern Conference Finals. Tonight, they'll try to cut that number to 1. The Canes host the Washington Capitals for Game 4 of their series tonight at Lenovo Center. The Canes are up 2-1 in the series after a 4-0 win on Saturday. Puck drop for tonight's game is at 7 o'clock. And after the game, only WRAL is breaking it down with expert analysis and exclusive insights. Don't miss our Canes exclusive post-game live tonight and after every game at 11:25. A person is hurt after a tree fell through a restaurant in Hope County. This happened at the Creekside Mill in Rayford. The business says the downed tree caused significant damage to the building, and the person who was hurt was a customer. The Creekside Mill will be closed until further notice while they make repairs. High-profile trial opening statements in the trial for Sean Diddy Combs will begin today. Who we could see take the stand. And a financial safety net. Planning for an emergency fund can be a lifesaver when it comes to unexpected expenses. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur will explain how to easily plan for emergencies. And this is a live look at Pinehurst right now. Today and tomorrow are WRAL weather alert days. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is timing out the heaviest rain.
(8:42), taking a look at dual Doppler 5000 radar. Lots of rain from, say, Wake County just to the south. All of that moving northward. There's a low pressure system to our west that's just going to continue to send tropical moisture our way all day. So it's raining pretty steadily in Sanford and just starting to see the rain pushing into the southern part of Wake County. That's moving pretty quickly. So I would expect it to be raining in downtown Raleigh probably within the next 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Flood watch in effect, 2 to 4 inches of rain today all the way through early tomorrow. So of course, it's a WRAL weather alert day. 100% chance of rain this afternoon, almost through the evening commute. So keep that in mind as you're planning your commute. Here's a nice way to plan. Just know that pretty much all day long we'll see scattered storms, especially by lunchtime. 70 degrees at the bus stop as the kids are getting off the bus, 72, and the evening commute around 72 as well, with a good chance for rain, Ken.
All right, happening now in the WRAL traffic center, taking a spin around the Beltline. That was the southern loop. The Beltline traffic has definitely eased. So similarly on the northern loop of the Beltline, congestion has definitely eased as we look at the I-440 and Ridge Road this morning. Of course, we're staying on top of that breaking news in Fayetteville that I-95 northbound lanes completely shut down between Fayetteville and Dunn this morning. There's a live look at that scene. You can see the tow trucks on the way. We'll have another live look at that scene coming up in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Ken. Today, opening statements in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs begin in New York. We could see Combs' former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, take the stand today. Prosecutors indicated they will call 2 quick witnesses to the stand before Ventura. Her testimony is expected to take up most of this week. Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that include racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. If convicted on all charges, he could be sentenced to life in prison. And from rising prices to job uncertainty and unexpected medical bills, financial curveballs can hit at any time. But having an emergency fund can make all the difference. 5 on Your Side's Keely Arthur shows us how building that safety net might be easier and more important than you think.
Even with unemployment low right now, Bankrate's annual emergency savings report found, get this, 59% of Americans say they can't afford to cover an unexpected $1,000 emergency. Don't let that be you. First, figure out how much you need to cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, things like housing, utilities, food, transportation, and debt payments. Next, open a separate savings account just for your emergency fund so you're not tempted to dip into it for everyday spending, and make saving even easier by setting automatic deposits or transfers from your checking account straight to your emergency fund.
You can keep it in a savings account, but your best bet is to put the emergency fund into an account that earns a high interest rate or a no penalty CD.
And if you're struggling with medical bills, steer clear of medical credit cards or loans offered by healthcare providers. They often come with high interest rates, hefty penalties, and could seriously hurt your credit. Keely Arthur, 5 on Your Side.
President Trump says the department plans to accept a Boeing 747 luxury jet from the Qatari royal family. In a post to social media last night, the president says it is a gift to replace Air Force One. A Qatari official says the plane is technically being gifted from the Qatari Ministry of Defense to the Pentagon. Trump leaves on his first major foreign trip today, which includes a stop in Qatar. And Marvel's new team of misfits and outsiders are keeping their hold on the top of the box office. David Daniel has a look at this weekend's biggest movies.
There's a psycho dressed up like Brendo, trying to kill us.
Clown in a Cornfield opened in 5th place with $3.7 million, the best debut yet for its distributor, IFC Films. $6.1 million kept The Accountant 2 in 4th place. A Minecraft movie crossed the $400 million mark in domestic box office, taking 3rd place with $8 million. Sinners stayed in 2nd, grossing $21.1 million for a domestic total of $214 million.
We're taking you in, Val.
I don't think so.
Thunderbolts, a.k.a. the New Avengers, stayed on top with $33.1 million for a 10-day domestic total of $128 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A World War II veteran reached a major milestone. Louis Bourgault celebrated his 100th birthday on the USS North Carolina. Bourgault was born in 1925. He enlisted in the Marine Corps when he was 17 and fought in Iwo Jima in 1945.
Do you feel 100 years old?
No, I feel 140 years old.
It just reminds me how precious and important it is to maintain that connection with our legacy. He is definitely a living legacy for us as Marines.
And he looks fantastic, too. Bourgault now spends his time sharing what he experienced with guests who come aboard the USS North Carolina in Wilmington. It was a powerful scene in downtown Raleigh this weekend. Nash Square surrounded by fire trucks as 13 fallen firefighters were honored. All 13 gave their lives in the line of duty, but family and friends say too many of those lost were struck down by a common killer. WRAL's Eric Miller explains.
Saturday's ceremony in the heart of downtown Raleigh came with bagpipes, drums, and a promise to never forget the 13 men whose names were added this year to the Fallen Firefighters Memorial. But Christy Burgess needs no help remembering one name on that list.
He was a veteran, he was a father, he was a son, he was a brother, he was a friend, he was a mentor, he was a lot of things.
Her husband, Nathan, a Raleigh firefighter, lost a battle not with flames, but cancer inside Duke University Medical Center in 2023.
The statistics of firefighters with cancers is staggering, and he was one that said, if I can do this for my brothers to keep somebody else from walking this path, that's what my calling and this will be, and that was how he faced it.
Of the 13 firefighters whose names were added to the memorial Saturday, 5 died from job-related cancers, more than any other single cause. Family members, including Burgess, were presented with a single rose and flag, a reminder of their sacrifice.
Our purpose for today is to support the families and recognize those that we've lost.
Today's a really solemn day.
Fayetteville Deputy Fire Chief Adam Ferguson was attending to honor fellow Fayetteville firefighter John Bowen, whose name was also added to the memorial and who also lost a battle with cancer.
Something I'll never forget is he told everybody in there he remembered learning about firefighters and cancer prevention and stuff, and he believed every word of it, but he just never believed it would happen to him.
WRAL has reported for years on the risks firefighters face from cancer on the job, including from cancer-causing forever chemicals found in their own suits, and on the steps lawmakers have taken to increase support for firefighters facing job-related cancers. Christy Burgess has pushed for that increased support, but says it's not enough. She's continuing to try to raise awareness, hoping to prevent more names from ending up on this list.
We as a community, we as states, we as counties or whatnot need to put the health of our firefighters first.
In Raleigh, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
And turning now to weather, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center showing us all of his rain, our next weather maker.
It is. So today is a WRAL weather alert day because of our potential for flooding and the fact that this rain is likely to last for several days. And here's why. This low pressure system here will sit over the Mississippi Valley and it's pulling up lots of tropical moisture. It's just going to sit there and spin like a pinwheel, rotating those bands of rain into our area. That will continue at least through Thursday through Wednesday with a little bit of a break on Thursday and potentially another round on Friday. So it's going to be more wet than dry, at least for the work week. So our WRAL weather alert day is due to the flood watch that's in effect, where we could see 2 to 4 inches of rain between now and tomorrow morning. But even more of that later in the week. This morning it's been off and on, but it'll be steadier as we head through the afternoon. As a matter of fact, we're seeing another band of rain coming on out of South Carolina, lifting northward. We'll zoom in here, starting to see it moving on into Wake County. Definitely some heavy rain in Sanford, Benson, Dunn, Smithfield, into Goldsboro. But starting to move on up into Fuquay Arena, really quickly moving, probably only another 15 or 20 minutes before it's here in downtown Raleigh. Probably see it by around 9 o'clock or so. Flood watch includes almost the entire viewing area for 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, and we can follow it here on Futurecast, and you can see that rain lifting northward, maybe a little faster than Futurecast is showing, but it just stays with us then all day. You can see the bright colored areas, the yellows and the oranges. That's where the rain may be heavier at times. It's going to make for a very messy evening commute, and of course, any place that tends to flood fairly easily along your route or in your neighborhood is likely to flood this time. This is tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. This is 7 a.m. Likely to have more rain during the morning commute tomorrow, and then it just sort of moves to scattered during the afternoon and evening on Tuesday. How much rainfall will we see? We can break it out by day. Today, about 1.5 inches, add another inch tomorrow, and then maybe another 1/2 inch on Wednesday, and that would total up around 4 inches of rain. Taking a live look at Sanford, the rain is falling here right now. Our temperature in the triangle is almost 70, and we're going to almost hold it right here. We're checking visibility. We definitely have a lot of low clouds, but no real fog to have to deal with at this point. Mid-60s in the north, upper 60s from the triangle area down through, say, Clinton and Fayetteville. It's 67 right now in Apex and Cary, 66 in Garner and in Durham. Around town, high temperatures, again, just kind of holding almost where we are right now. We'll be in the low to mid-70s for highs this afternoon. Ken Smith tells me that it doesn't ever rain at the Lenovo Center, so if you're headed out to the Carolina Hurricanes game, you'll be just fine. Just kidding. He said everybody would be out there in their tents and umbrellas. It's like, Ken, are you serious? It's going to be raining really hard out there. So do your thing. Just be aware it's going to rain, but go Canes. All right. Weather alert day today and tomorrow. A little break on Thursday, and it gets really hot on Friday. And of course, we could see some late day storms, and that could linger into Saturday.
Oh, Ken Smith. All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic coming up next.